The couple accidentally got pregnant after 17 years of trying. You have probably heard of the popular adage, buns in the oven. Well, Dana Griffin Graves decided to play a wonderful joke on her lovely husband by cooking him buns for dinner. In fact, it was the way she planned to tell him the amazing news. She finally got pregnant. The thing is that they had been trying to have a baby for 17 years. Dana Griffin Graves and Arkell Graves tied the knot when they were just 17 years old and had been trying to have a baby since then. Unluckily, they were the ones who were experiencing fertility issues, and the whole process took longer than they expected. But 2015 was the year that changed their lives. The couple went through 4 miscarriages and even gave birth to a stillborn child. Dana mentioned in one of her interviews that at that moment they gave up. But then there was a period in her life she couldn't lose weight, even though she did sport and had a healthy diet. She started thinking of different reasons for that, and that she wondered if maybe, just maybe, she would carry a baby. Don't forget, they had been trying for 17 years, and they are both 41 years old. When Dana decided to pay a visit to a doctor, she was shocked. She went to the doctor and discovered something that blew her mind. The woman was 5 months pregnant with a healthy boy. Can you imagine that? "I was ecstatic," she said. "We hadn't planned anything, we weren't trying." And she already knew what she was going to do next. Dana decided to surprise her husband and tell him they will have a baby in an unusual way. The popular saying, buns in the oven, means you're pregnant. So the woman decided to prepare buns for dinner and knew it would be the best way to reveal the pregnancy to Arkell. She literally put the buns in the oven. Her husband opened it, saw the buns, and a little note. Firstly, he didn't understand the hint, but when he realized his lovely wife was pregnant, he couldn't hold his tears. And the news that she was already 5 months pregnant simply bedazzled him. Little did the happy couple know that a few weeks later, they would have serious problems with the baby. Dana started feeling really bad and was rushed to intensive care with almost fatal high blood pressure. The doctors said their unborn baby was putting her health at high risk. They needed to take action. Physicians also said the woman had to deliver the baby by emergency C-section. Thus, they welcomed their boy to this world at a very risky 24 weeks, 4 months early. In Arkell's Facebook post, he said, "Today, our baby will have to be delivered at 24 weeks and 1 day." Dana wrote a touching post. Caleb Arkell Graves was born yesterday on October 20th, 2015 at 1:08 p.m. He is tiny in stature, but he is a fighter. He is in stable but critical condition. When I arrived in the intensive care unit over a week ago, they told me in order to save my life, I had to terminate him. My blood pressure was 223/113, but I couldn't. Dana had to come to a really difficult and risky decision. When doctors warned her, the woman knew what she wanted to do and wouldn't let anyone change her mind. She said, "He was my miracle, and I had to give him a fighting chance to make it." Daily, I was told how my chances of survival were declining because of my heart functions and chronic blood pressure. With only a 5% chance of survival, Caleb is here. I'm grateful to God, my wonderful husband Arkell, and my amazing family. A few days after the miracle happened, Dana shared with her followers on Facebook that they named their boy Caleb Arkell Graves, and he is still very critical. "I have compared this whole journey to a roller coaster of emotions," she wrote. "We prayed all day and night for God to show us just a small miracle. We serve a prayer-answering God. Although Caleb is still very critical and doctors don't always give us the best news." Luckily, the next day, everything changed. The next day, Caleb's condition started improving. Sunday was a much better day for him and for us, Dana wrote in her post. God even allowed us to see him open his eyes for the first time. Tiny Caleb managed to grab their fingers. She said, "He even grabbed our fingers. It's those little things that people take for granted that make us so grateful." Dana was feeling blessed and wanted to thank everyone around her. She wrapped up her post thanking everyone for their support and prayers. She was going to be released sometime that week. Dana's sister, Melanie Griffin Hamlin, founded a GoFundMe page to help her sister out on the financial side. She said this site is to offset some of the expenses of the enormous hospital bills and to have a beautiful, well-deserved nursery for baby Caleb. Just in one day, the family managed to raise more than $3,000. When Dana mentioned she was about to get released from the hospital, people started to praise her. Arkell Graves recalled how Caleb had his mom's blood pressure very, very high, to the point that it was putting her health at risk. The doctors came in every day and explained the risk of continuing to hold him inside. The man was deeply surprised and touched, since Dana decided to risk her own life to save their little baby boy. He was amazed by his wife's courage. The man said, "She refused to go on with the delivery until it was time where they could actually take care of him in the neonatal intensive care unit. I'm gonna tell you, just looking at my wife, it was the most selfless thing I have ever seen somebody do." Arkell recalled the doctors were telling her, "This could affect your liver, this could affect your lungs, this could affect your heart." But her determination was to make it to one particular day. All the issues happened just a few weeks after the couple got to know Dana was pregnant. She said in her post, "Have your tissues ready. After 4 miscarriages and 1 stillborn birth, we had given up on the idea of having babies of our own, especially at our age. But God!" The heartwarming video went immediately viral. The video was so emotionally intensive and benign that it went viral immediately. Now that it has over 11 million views, a lot of people are watching the couple's and baby Caleb's progress. Dana delivered the son at the VCU Medical Center in Richmond, Virginia. Arkell said, "She fought through this. She didn't have to do this, so my respect for her is, oh man, I don't even think Webster has a word for it." But Arkell couldn't believe his eyes when he opened the oven. Firstly, he didn't get the message, but a moment later he shouted, "You're pregnant!" with an extra huge grin from ear to ear. He kept repeating this phrase and still couldn't believe in it. His jaw dropped when she told him that she was already 19 weeks pregnant. "That's why I couldn't lose weight," Dana explained to her husband. And when she said the baby is due on February 16th, he raised up his arms and said, "Come here." Little did the man know he was about to get one more surprise. "And it's a boy," Dana continued. At that point, Arkell burst with tears of happiness. He even lifted his shirt over his face to wrap his loud sobbing. It's no wonder that so sweet and touching videos made so many people be curious to know about the couple and the baby's well-being. Now, it's been 2 years since Caleb Arkell Graves, also known as Baby Buns, was taken home. The boy was ready to start living a normal life after a year of being in the hospital. The Graves had to undergo a lot of difficulties, many tests, and special treatment. They were strong enough to overcome all the challenges in their lives. Now the family was able to go home, and they appreciated it more than they could ever explain. "It's a wonderful feeling. It's so surreal. It's been a long time coming," said Dana. When the couple came back home in one complete 3-person package, they decided to make this day even more special. They took Caleb home in a limousine, being strapped in his car seat for the ride home to Dinwiddie. The Graves wanted to share their happiness with the world and posted their emotional ride home on social media. "It was really hard seeing this day in the beginning, but I have these glasses on because I have been crying so much. Tears of joy. I just feel so blessed right now. Humbly blessed," said Arkell Graves. The couple made a Facebook page named Baby Buns. On it, they wrote, "We have to thank our wonderful neonatal team at MCV VCU neonatal medical staff for the care provided for our #BabyBuns. At this very moment, all of my men are asleep under the same roof." Dana's post continues, "Some days I really didn't think that would happen. During this last year, I've had some emotionally trying times. I questioned my judgment, I questioned my faith, and I questioned God. But I never lost my faith in God. Each day, He soothed me, made me a little stronger, and calmed my sense of anxiousness. While he still has his ups and downs of health, Caleb is doing well at home and being loved by family, friends, and supporters.